in Toronto at the second Minds and Money show. We're with the head of research for the event, Andrew Thake. Thank you for joining us.
Delighted to be with you, Rachel.
Now, can you talk to us about some highlights from this year?
Well, we've had a really kind of great turnout. We've had over 700 attendees over the course of the 3 days, over 250 investors. For me, there's been a number of highlights. I think the first one was Ian Telfer's keynote speech. Chairman of Goldcorp, of course. First time we've had him at Minds and Money, and Randy Smallwood of Wheaton Precious Metals did a great job interviewing him. What was really just interesting is it wasn't so much about the mining industry, it was about his whole sort of belief in sort of management, citing Jim Collins' book, Good to Be Great, how he goes and hires people, how he goes and motivates and retains staff.
Right.
Just kind of interesting topic areas that you don't usually get sort of discussed as a Minds and Money event. So for me, that was probably my sort of favourite presentation.
Mm-hmm. Now, at your gala dinner, I know that you have a awards show. Mm-hmm. How do you come about judging the top whatever award you have?
Well, we have 150 nominations get sent in by members of the public, both those attending the event and also those not attending the event. Then we have a short list which are chosen by our advisory board, featuring people such as Rick Rule, Frank Holmes, Maren Katusa, various banks, brokers and fund managers. Mm-hmm. So we had over 12 categories. Ian Telfer was chosen for our Lifetime Achievement Award, mm-hmm. which I think is so thoroughly sort of deserved and very well merited.
Right.
What was kind of interesting about Ian is that he didn't really start to become successful by his own admission until the age of sort of 55. Mm-hmm. So there's hope for us all yet.
So Andrew, you yourself go to many conferences all over the world. Mm-hmm. If you take anything away from those conferences, what are they and how are they applied for Minds and Money? In
terms of, I think, sort of some of the learning points, I think that probably one of the big ones from this year's event has been probably the first day, where there's a lot of interesting talk about the battery metals mm-hmm. and the future energy. I think that I came away from that day with a very firm belief that it's not the case of when for electric vehicles, it's just kind of a case of when. Mm-hmm. So I really fully believe that the electric vehicle revolution is actually going to happen. It's not going to be 20% by 2030, it will be 80-90%. Hybrid will be part of that solution, but it will be mainly electric vehicles. And I really want Minds Money to be sort of at the forefront of that evolution from the carbon age to the electron age. Right. So to me that was probably one of the key learning points to sort of take away. Right.
Now at the conference you're sitting through all these panel discussions and speeches in the conference rooms. Mm-hmm. For investors who aren't here, any key messages that you really took away for yourself that you can mention here?
I think that in terms of when we were polling our investors, asking as to which sort of commodities they're interested in investing in, obviously gold is still number one. And I think that Marcelo Kim's presentation from Paulson, when he talked about some of the concerns about some of the larger gold mining companies and their sort of CEOs being perhaps sort of overpaid but underperforming, I think that was definitely a very interesting sort of takeaway. In terms of the other commodities that were talked a lot about at the event, a lot of interest in copper. Probably if we ask our investors what's their most favourite long-term commodity play, copper is probably number one. A lot of interest in cobalt as well, again part of that battery metal story, and also really seeing a lot more interest from investors in the last month or so in nickel. I think it's partly because of in the electric vehicle and lithium-ion batteries, when one talks about MMA and NMC batteries, mm-hmm. obviously the N is nickel, and obviously increasing demand from nickel there, so I'm quite sort of bullish on nickel, as are many of our investors as well. All right, well thank you so much Andrew for your insight here. Thank you very much Rachel.
Thank you.